representing the OC.
Hey everyone, welcome to our Backlash 2017 review video. My hair is a mess and I really don't give a damn. We have a new WWE champion. Jinder Mahal is the WWE champion. Former member of 3MB. Former curtain jerker, among other things, is now the WWE champion. I am pretty much at a loss for words, and that does not happen often. I mean, hell, let's have James Ellsworth go over to Monday Night Raw, enter that 5-way match, make it a 6-way, have Ellsworth win that match, and then at Great Balls of Fire, James Ellsworth defeats Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. Now, I get it. Ellsworth is not Indian. Jinder Mahal is. And Virtue, tell us what you heard in that promo tonight that convinced you he was winning the title.
I picked Orton, on our preview show, and then when Jinder got out of the limo, I stepped on his little rug and cut the promo. He said, he mentioned the population of India, 1.3 billion. As soon as I heard that, I was like, Vince McMahon somebody did the research, knew what the population of India was, and I knew right then and there he was probably going to walk out tonight as the WWE champion.
Yeah, any sane person picked Randy Orton to win this. What do you think, Greg?
Well, he's already a better Indian champion than the Great Khali. I'm going to say that much. But I was just as surprised as you guys were that they actually pulled the trigger and made Mahal WWE champion. Let's not forget, Drew McIntyre's in NXT. Heath Slater's on Raw, so 3MB could rule the WWE.
Imagine WrestleMania 34.
Yes.
3MB, triple threat for the WWE title.
Yes.
Is it 2007 with Great Khali or whenever he was the champ? Is it 2011 with Del Rio? I feel the rinse and repeat effect.
It's worse because Great Khali was, if Great Khali was doing all that kiss camera stuff and then all of a sudden became world champion, yeah, it would be like that. But Khali was pushed right from the beginning. He beat Undertaker right away. So yeah. Khali at least had credibility. JBL, at least the Acolytes, the APA, they were a badass tag team before they split up. So JBL had some credibility. At least he had credibility.
Mahal has none. He won the 40-man Royal Rumble.
Yeah, exactly. Mahal literally won that #1 contenders match and then beat Orton in that tag match and then won this match with help from the Bollywood boys or the Singh Brothers or whatever the heck they're called. All right, before we get too carried away, we'll talk about this more later. So you guys watching this, stay tuned. If you thought Backlash was a great show, you might want to turn this off right now because I'm just agitated and I might say some things that get on people's nerves. Tonight, I'm going to be Virtue. Last night, Virtue, you were the one that was stirring up the pot, generating the controversy with your comments, and Greg, as usual, is the calm, mild-mannered wrestling fan who's just going to give his polite opinions, but I'm going to be a prick tonight, so let's get started with this review. All right, Ty Dillinger versus Aiden English. This might shock you, but I thought that this was the best thing on the show. I was very entertained by Aiden English's opening promo where he's walking to the ring while singing his promo. I thought that that was creative, and I think there's potential. It reminded me of Mr. Kennedy when he started doing his ring entrance. I thought the first time I saw that, it had potential to be something special, and it was. I think there's potential with this. I think Aiden English, hell, he should have been the one that was given the Jinder Mahal push. I'm entertained by this character. I think it has some real potential. Maybe the guy needs a tan. Maybe he needs some back knee. I don't know. But the fact is, I think he has some potential. It got to the point where I felt that Aiden should have won this match. But no, Ty Dillinger, the guy that just does the 10, won the match. Whatever. PA Sensation, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, I think you're getting a little out of line with your ginger hate saying that Aiden English should be WWE champion right now, but we'll dial it back to the pre-show. I enjoyed the match. I too think Aiden English is his promo coming out to begin the show was pretty entertaining. I'll give him that. I enjoyed the Vaudevillains when they were a thing. Now that Simon Gotch isn't with the company anymore, Aiden English has a chance to shine on his own. I hope he gets that chance, and maybe he starts winning some matches. But I enjoyed the match for what it was. I'm a Ty Dillinger fan, so I enjoyed the finish, and I thought it was a good way to open the show. Virtue?
Yeah, I liked the match. You know, I was very impressed with Aiden English's entrance, where he actually sang kind of the whole way out there. As soon as he did that, I was kind of thinking, am I going to be right and get that quick 10-second match? And then, of course, I'm kind of glad it was a normal-length match because I found myself being entertained by Aiden English. I still like Ty. So, you know, to me, that match should have been on the regular show, and maybe Harper and Rowan should have been bumped on the pre-show.
Yeah, I agree with that totally, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. We had the pay-per-view kickoff with Dolph Ziggler versus the artist, known as Nakamura. I thought that this was a pretty good match. I thought that Ziggler did a really good job of making Nakamura look good. However, I was a little bit disappointed. I think maybe we all overhyped this match a little too much. I think it was good, but I think some of us had unrealistic expectations that maybe it was going to be as good as Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne, which I don't think it was even close. But I still thought it was a good match. Good showing for Nakamura. Good way to get him started. It didn't need to be an all-time classic. It just needed to, showcase what Nakamura could do, and the match, I felt, accomplished what it needed to do. So, Virtue, we'll start with you. First of all, before you give your thoughts, do you know why Ziggler had an American flag on his ring gear if he's supposed to be a heel? I mean, wouldn't that make people want to cheer him over Nakamura? Am I thinking too much?
Well, yeah, and when I noticed that, I'm thinking, Nakamura from Japan, so I don't know, Japan versus U.S., but we're allies now. So that was a little bit strange. Greg, what do you think about the tights? Just are we overlooking that with Ziggler?
Think about Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was the American hero, and he was a heel for most of his career. So I think you're overthinking the whole tights thing a little bit.
That's why you're the voice of reason.
But he never wears the American tights like that.
I thought he has before.
First I could recall. Maybe I
just don't pay enough attention to his tights, which is as my wife points out that she does. But anyway, if we're going into discussion of the match, I thought it was a good match. I think you're right, though, Aaron, that we did overhype it a little bit, that we were expecting this Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura instant classic. But it was a solid match. I mean, I'm not disappointed by what they put out. What was that?
Oh, I said nothing.
Oh, I thought maybe he was breaking up or something. I don't know. But regardless, Nakamura and Ziggler was a very solid opening to the main pay-per-view card. Virtue?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I liked Ziggler's heel work. I thought he played heel in the match very, very well. I went out on the limb on the predictions and thought Ziggler would cheat to win, and Vince McMahon would make us all wait to see Nakamura win on the main roster. And that was foolish because Nakamura is going to be a star. He already is. So I enjoyed it. It was a good placement to have it as the hot opener, too. Again, maybe our expectations were a little bit high, but, I mean, with Nakamura in the match, from entrance, as soon as he comes out with the entrance, our expectations should be high with him. I mean, so it wasn't wrong that we thought that.
Yeah, and he came off like a star. Crowd was really into him, so it was a good, solid start to the show. Next up, we had the Usos versus Breezango for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and amazingly enough, Breezango did not become the new tag team champions, and I half thought they were going to because of the way that they were doing all this comedy stuff, and I was just thinking WWE is going to do something crazy. No way that it's going to happen, but I started thinking that it might be a possibility. This might surprise you guys because I'm a sports entertainment guy. I like the characters and the goofy stuff and the over-the-top theatrics, but I did not like this. I felt it was a mistake to do this in a tag team title match. I think if they did this in the pre-show with Breezango against, say, the Ascension, I think it would have been fine. But to do this in a tag team title match, I wasn't a big fan of it. The humor, I mean, I chuckled a few times, but that was about it. You had Breeze dressed up as a grandma. The crowd liked it way more than I did, so clearly I'm just out of touch. I mean, the crowd was eating it up, so more power to WWE. They got a reaction. The fans were eating up everything on this show, so good for WWE. But me personally, to me, this is something I'll forget a week from now. PA Sensation, we'll start with you. Your thoughts?
See, I thought Tyler Breeze was gold during this entire thing, and it's kind of weird that Fandango was the straight man of the team, if you will. But the in-ring action was decent. I mean, it was designed to be a comedy match for the first half of it, and I think the right team won for the Usos. I would like to see, as much as I enjoy the comedy with Breeze and Fandango, that they become a little more serious the next time they get an opportunity, if there is a next time for them, which I hope there is. Richard?
I think the whole janitor and grandma gimmick that Tyler Breeze did, it kind of put the crowd into really maybe wanting to see them win the match. So I think that really helped the Usos with that heel victory. So, I was shocked with one part in this match. Have either one of you ever seen Fandango jump over the top rope and flip? I was very impressed with that spot. Do you know which one I was talking about?
Yeah, near
yeah. So the guy like Fandango and Tyler Breeze were they were very pumped. They were very into this match, and I think maybe because of that crowd reaction from the beginning with the gimmicks that Tyler Breeze was doing, I think that tremendously helped it out. If that didn't happen, this might have got a really, really quiet crowd reaction, especially following Nakamura and Ziggler.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And I was kind of thinking, as I was watching the match, that Tyler Breeze's character and gimmicks I was doing, it kind of put me in mind of Damien Mizdow a little bit. How he's supposed to be the entertaining part. And Miz and Mizdow were tag team champions, so, who knows?
All right, next up we had Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn. This was one of the first of several surprises. At least we had some unexpected things happen on this show. We complain a lot about it being too predictable. One positive I'll say about this show, I'll get it out there, at least we got to see some unexpected finishes and outcomes on this show. Sami Zayn pulling off the victory here, that I was not expecting. I thought Baron Corbin was going to win this one for sure. I thought it was a good match. Now, I am a little bit intrigued by this. I'm wondering if Baron Corbin is going to win the Money in the Bank match now. This loss is just typical how WWE does things, where the guy who's getting the big push, he has to put somebody over before he gets his big push. I'm wondering if that's the case here. Virtue, what were your thoughts on the match?
Well, I wanted Corbin to win, but, pushing a heel. But I'm kind of growing on Sami Zayn again. I lost interest when he was on Raw, kind of getting lost in the shuffle. But being on SmackDown, I don't know if he would feud with the AJ Styles, potentially Kevin Owens again down the road. So, keeping Zayn a little relevant with some big wins on pay-per-views, at least in terms of big wins for Sami Zayn, I enjoyed it. I'm a fan of Corbin's power moves. It gets a little boring in his matches, but then when he executes some of the big moves, it's always fun. Sami Zayn sells them pretty well. I was surprised. I mean, I enjoyed it because I was surprised. What do you think, Greg?
See, I enjoyed the match, too. I'm also a big Baron Corbin fan. I've mentioned a few times on these videos, I think he's a future WWE champion this year, so Money in the Bank would be the perfect outlet to do that. I enjoyed the in-ring action of this match. Again, surprised with Sami Zayn actually pulling out the victory. But it was kind of taking advantage of an opportunity for Sami Zayn. So it doesn't really bury Corbin because Sami Zayn just hit the haluva kick and it was over. So it's not like he dominated him throughout the match. So I enjoyed it.
There you have it. Next up, we had a promo with the Singh Brothers coming out and rolling out a red carpet, or not a red carpet, just one of those Indian carpets.
Magic carpet.
Now you're going to get us.
Hey. No.
Remember,
it was a good one. It was a good one.
Yeah. Well, anyways, a carpet, whatever you want to call it, magic carpet, red carpet, green carpet, whatever. They had the carpet set up. Mahal came out of a limo. He was dressed in this fancy suit. He called the fans and the Americans a bunch of haters. And there was a brief CM Punk chant, and the crowd did the what chants. But the CM Punk chants, I think, got drowned out again. Either that or WWE muted them. I'm not sure which it was, but it was very brief. It was only for like 3 or 4 seconds. And then we had the 6 women tag team match. James Ellsworth came out, cut a promo, introduced Carmella. Just your basic match. This felt like something that could have happened on SmackDown. Another surprising finish, though. We saw Becky tap out to Natalya's sharpshooter. I was not expecting that. I thought that if the heels were going to win, we would see some sort of friction between Charlotte and Naomi to set up whatever the finish was, but neither of them were involved. It was Becky who took the fall. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Greg, we'll start with you.
I thought the action for this match was decent. I mean, it wasn't anything overly special, but the welcoming committee and Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella, they did their jobs. I'm kind of over Ellsworth, though.
Yeah,
I think we've been over Ellsworth since he almost beat AJ Styles for the title. But I don't know. That's just me. I thought it was decent for what it was, and I picked them on Twitter to win that match. So go me, Virtue.
I missed part of this match, but I watched the ending, and I was kind of like, "Whoa, Becky just tapped out." With the contract signing on SmackDown, this match should have been maybe Naomi defending the title against Natty, and maybe everyone was going to be lumberjills, including Ellsworth. So the fact that it was a 6-woman tag, it was really blah to me. And to finish it, it's like, and where's Charlotte? What are they doing with Charlotte? Like, it's just baffling that she was so powerful on Raw and she's come to SmackDown and kind of got lost the last few weeks.
Yeah. Next, we had Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for the U.S. title. Crowd was really into AJ. They were chanting his name during the pre-show. They really wanted to see the Phenomenal One. They chanted stupid idiot at Kevin Owens. Very good match here, I thought. They had this story where Owens was working over the leg of AJ, and then for the finish, they had the two of them on the outside. I had mixed feelings. At first, I thought that this was a creative finish, and then I started having issues with it. What happened was AJ was ignoring the referee's 10 count. He was going to put Owens through the announce table, but then AJ's foot got caught in the hole in the table, and there were cords there, and he got stuck, and he's like dangling there trying to break out of it, like Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 10 when his foot got caught in the ropes. It reminded me a lot of that, but back then we're laughing at Shawn Michaels, and here AJ Styles is the babyface, and it was so comical and cheesy, I thought. I thought it made AJ's character look really weak, that he did something foolish to get himself counted out. Babyfaces are supposed to be smarter than that, especially a guy who's a main event babyface. So I ended up having a problem with it, even though I did think it was creative at first. So I thought it was a good match. Finish, questionable for me. I understand it's done to stretch out the feud. I just think it would have been more effective if Owens beat Styles with the pop-up powerbomb. AJ had an excuse. He had the bad leg, and I think that would have been more effective than having AJ lose by countout. So Greg, or not Greg, we went with you first last time. Virtue, we'll start with you first.
I agree with you, Aaron. That finish of a pop-up powerbomb would have been great. I still enjoyed the match. And I don't know if I like that match better than Ziggler or Nakamura. I might have to go watch him again. But I really enjoyed it because I love the psychology. And I know where you're saying maybe it didn't make sense at the end. Well, if AJ's leg was hurting and he was into the heat of battle, he might have lost focus on what he was doing. So I'm going to suspend my disbelief.
So he's the best in the world, but he can make stupid, heated decisions in the heat of the moment. But that doesn't make sense for the guy who's the best wrestler in the world. The best wrestler in the world should never be making bad decisions in the heat of a fight.
Yeah, well, they were protecting him. They didn't want to have him have the pinfall clean loss in the ring. And to be honest with you, I was bought into the leg injury the whole match. So that finish, I didn't expect his leg to fall into the hole. They could have did anything else. I was kind of like, whoa. So I like that. And AJ should be the artist. That guy can work a match. I mean, he's the artist, not Nakamura. But they're both great. And we're going to get their match one day again. Greg?
See, I thought Kevin Owens knocked AJ Styles' leg through the table to begin with. It wasn't something AJ got caught in. It was Owens, taking advantage of where AJ was and getting him caught. But that notwithstanding, I thought it was a solid match. And like you said, Aaron, it's going to extend the feud a little bit longer and perhaps some kind of gimmick match at whatever's next, Money in the Bank or something.
Unless they're all.
I don't lose track of what the pay-per-views are anymore because they changed their names.
Yeah,
Backlash was in September last year.
Money in the Bank's the next one. So, they might be in the Money in the Bank match, or they might stretch it out. Actually, I think there's another one before SummerSlam. There's so many of them. I think there's Battleground, if I'm not mistaken, before SummerSlam. There's too many pay-per-views. It's getting ridiculous. So then we had Luke Harper versus Erick Rowan. Total filler match, like Payne said. Not Payne. Oh, sorry. I just called you Payne.
I deserve it for what the hate that I got yesterday, though, in the comments.
Look what this pay-per-view is doing to my brain. You said earlier that this would have been better off as the pre-show match, and I agree with you. There was nothing to this match. It was just your typical 50-50 booking. It was a filler match between AJ and Owens, and the main event, a buffer match, so to speak. Just a throwaway match. Not much to say about it. Greg, anything you want to say about it?
Not really. It kind of looked like Harper botched his own finishing move at the end there. Like, he went for the discus clothesline, and I think he just, shoved them down.
It was a little off. I noticed that.
Yeah.
But, they weren't going to reload that. They were going to finish it with the 1, 2, 3. There's no build for this. I mean, whatever build there was Rowan on the talking smack, and Shane made the match. So if you don't have a build for a match, I'm not going to be interested in it. But, I mean, I like these guys. I've liked them with the Wyatts. I really like Luke Harper, but it comes down to booking. This was a filler match, a buffer match. Yeah. All right, are you ready? Or do you have something?
To be fair, Angle and Benoit at WrestleMania all those years ago had no build. They started their build for their match 6 days before the show. So,
wow, but look who you're talking about, though. I mean, those guys come few and far between.
Yeah, two machines right there. All right, so now the main event of the evening. Randy Orton defending against former 3MB member Jinder Mahal. Orton basically dominated the beginning. He attacked Mahal before the ring announcements could even finish. They brawled on the outside. Mahal finally was able to gain control, and this will further back Vince's vision of this working, because the crowd was into it. I mean, I thought the crowd was going to crap on it. The crowd was into it. They were doing the "Let's go Jinder, Jinder sucks" chants. They were heavily into Orton. So they got the crowd reaction they wanted. So what do I know? I think sometimes I feel like wrestling has passed me by. If it was me, I probably would have gone home before this match. Obviously I got the site, so I would have stayed. But if I did not have the website and I went to this show, I would have left after Owens and AJ Styles, to be honest with you. But yeah, I thought that it was a fine match. Mahal held his own. It was pretty good. It was a lot of stuff with outside interference. The Singh Brothers trying to interfere, Randy Orton taking them out, and ultimately it was the Singh Brothers that were the factor here. Orton laid them both out with the DDTs, and then they actually, before that, they saved Mahal from losing after taking the RKO. But yeah, Orton hit the two Singh Brothers with the DDTs, and then you had Mahal step in, sneak in behind Orton, hit his finishing move, whatever it's called, and new WWE champion. I don't even know what his finishing move is called. So yeah, Jinder Mahal, WWE champion, WWE trying to expand into India. I guess they see money in that. I guess they do. It's a different era, because a decade ago, WWE would freak out if the ratings dropped. And, the ratings have definitely dropped for SmackDown. They went from 3.1 million viewers 5 or 6 weeks ago when the shakeup happened, and this past week they were down to 2.1 million. Clearly, ratings are not important anymore. That's not on WWE's priority list like it was in the past. Now it's about other areas, other sources of revenue, and they continue to try their worldwide expansion, and they're going with Jinder Mahal. But I don't know how long this is going to last. This might just be a 1 month thing, maybe an experiment. But I think it waters down the title greatly, personally. I think it makes me care very little about the title. So who wants to go first here? I'll let you guys pick who wants to go first. Greg, you want to go first?
Go ahead, Virtue.
No, Virtue, okay.
So, yeah, it's just so hard, because I get it's Vince McMahon's vision. He's trying to build up a heel. They're trying to expand into the market of India. Randy Orton's title reign was very short. So, you know, the Universal title is now the main title in WWE, and it's not even on TV because Brock never shows up. I really don't have much to say about this, other than Orton almost killed. I don't know what Singh it was, but like over on the announce table on the outside, it looked like he dropped him down on his head. I was very surprised that he got back up and they still took the double DDT through the ropes. But I thought Orton was going to win, and when he caught him with the move from behind after all that ruckus with the Singhs went down, I looked up and I immediately thought of you, Aaron, and I'm shocked. I probably can't give a good assessment until my written review a couple days from now. I don't really know what to say. You know, I don't know if I'm mad. I don't know if I'm happy. I don't know. Craig?
See, when Orton almost killed one of the Singh brothers, you could see the look on his face. It's like, I didn't mean to do that.
I saw that, yeah.
Which I thought was comical. And Mr. Anderson's probably sitting at home was like, wow, I didn't do half that and I got fired.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. I thought the match was decent. I missed a little bit of it. But I came back and saw the finish with the Singh brothers saving Orton with saving Mahal rather from the RKO and taking those nasty bumps, and then Mahal coming back and hitting his finisher for the win. It was almost as big a surprise to me as Lesnar beating the streak. Not as big, but it was. I was just in shock that they actually pulled the trigger and gave Mahal the championship.
Yeah,
I mean, guys, right now we're all sitting here, and Jinder Mahal is the WWE champion. I mean, what do you expect the readers and viewers of No DQ for us to say?
Yeah,
that's what I'm at a loss of words.
Well, when I did my poll, you know, I was surprised. Like, there were a fair amount of people that thought Mahal was going to win the title. So people thought there was going to be some weird shenanigans here, and you know, nothing is out of the question in the world of WWE right now. I think after the Undertaker thing, people, you know, can expect the unexpected. In a way, it's good. You know, I tend to complain about things being too predictable, and you know, if they make more money from this in India, then more power to them. Whatever. I wish they had built up Mahal over a period of several months. When they brought him back last year, they should have pushed him right from the get-go and slowly built him up. You know, if they wanted to push him, hey, they look at him and say, hey, we're going to push this guy as the next big thing and push him in India and make him a big Indian star. They should have pushed him right from the get-go, not just with the snap of a finger push him as the champion, #1 contender, you know, with a 1-month build. I wasn't a fan of that. You know, I'm not a fan of Jinder Mahal getting a push. I just think that it was done poorly and with seemingly little preparation. It's just like they just went with it on the fly. I don't know.
Well, that sums it up. I would agree with you on that. Absolutely. Yep.
So Kyle has to shave his head now. He made that bet that if Mahal won the title, he would shave his head. You know what? Screw it.
Can we get that on video? Ask him if we can get that on video.
He said he's going to do it on video, so he has to live up to that stipulation. You guys can tweet him at Interstate Kyle and make sure he lives up to his promise. And hell, screw it. I'm going to shave my head tomorrow. I'm not recording it again. I already did that once, but I'm just going to get it buzzed tomorrow. Screw it.
Okay. Wow. You do that.
Yeah, I am. I'm pissed off. So anyways.
So what do we grade the show overall? What do you think?
I'll let Greg go first. I'll let you guys go first before I...
Okay.
I'd probably give it a B- or maybe a high C.
High C, is that a drink?
Yeah, high C, like the orange stuff they're taking out of McDonald's. Whatever that is, I don't know. But I thought the in-ring action was pretty solid. Not as good as TakeOver last night, obviously. But Jinder winning is probably going to get a lot of people talking. It's like, can you believe that we live in an era where Jinder Mahal is WWE champion? It's not even like United States or tag team champion or something like that where it's like, oh, wow, he won the title. You know, go for him. It's like it's the WWE title held by Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, The Rock, all of those, and now Jinder Mahal.
Considering it's a brand split pay-per-view, I'm going to be modest because I liked a few of the matches. I'm going to go B-. That's subject to change by my written review, but now the pressure is on you, Aaron.
Well, I'm going to give the show a high C. I'm going to give it a C+. I thought it was very average. Jinder Mahal winning. I guess I'm going to have to wait and see how things play out over the next several weeks. You know, if it turns out to be a big hit and business picks up, more people get interested in WWE. If my site traffic goes up and gets a big spike because of this, I might feel differently a little bit. I'm not sure how I feel about this right now and how it's going to affect WWE moving forward. It's definitely a big decision that the company made to put the title on him. Time will tell if it was a good business decision or not. We'll have to wait and see. I guess WWE's viewpoint is that everyone's paying $9.99. Anybody can be champion. Titles don't really mean anything. Brock Lesnar can go away and the Universal title is never around, and people will keep watching. So I think WWE feels we're in a different era now. I could not imagine very many people buying this pay-per-view in the old pay-per-view era. Who would have spent $50 to see Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton? I certainly wouldn't have. So
I wouldn't have spent $30.
Yeah, I
remember when they were $29.95?
I feel like the only reason we're all watching this is because we're paying $9.99, and WWE's attitude might be, hey, we can do whatever we want. We can try to expand our market in India by making this guy who's actually Canadian, but we'll portray him as Indian, as the WWE champion. So we'll see what happens. Right now, I give it a C+. It might change. Maybe I'll feel differently in a couple of days, a couple of weeks. I don't know. But I'm just shaking my head right now over just how absurd the whole thing is. So that'll wrap it up. Greg, any plugs? And then Virtue, your plugs?
Just at PA Sensation on Twitter and Instagram. Send in some more questions for the Sensational Experience, episode number 7. The previous 6 are on this channel, so go check them out.
And you can follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue, and I will probably put about 50 or 60 comments to the trolls and the messages of this video.
Sounds good. Yeah, leave a comment. Leave your comments. It seems like we were doing pretty good, and then like towards the end of the show, like the comments stopped. So it seemed like people were losing interest as the show went on. I'm not really sure what happened there. But yeah, you guys can leave your comments on YouTube and on NoDQ.com, whichever one you prefer. Virtue, I'm sure, will be trolling on both pages. Leave your comments, your feedback. I'm sure some people will love me, some people will hate me, some people will say they're going to unsubscribe, some people will say I'm awesome. I'm sure there'll be all sorts of different viewpoints, and but that's the thing about these videos. It's anything goes. We say how we feel. These were my authentic thoughts on this show. At least we're talking. At least it was something interesting. So it's better than just a flat-out boring show where nothing happened. At least we had something happen. So that'll do it for our thoughts on WWE Backlash. And we got, what is it, Extreme Rules now in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, we got another pay-per-view, and then Money in the Bank, and then Great Balls of Fire, and then Battleground, and then SummerSlam. And around SummerSlam is episode number 1000, a No DQ video. That should be a lot of fun. But before we get to that, we got a lot of review, prediction videos, all that good stuff coming. So stay tuned, NoDQ.com, and we will see you guys next time.